Okay, great. I'm so excited to bring up your first comedian. I really am. And they have a great show at How Convenient called Party Store that you can catch this Thursday. So please give it up right now for Rabbit J.
Covert Café, give it up for Joe John. Yeah, and Defiant Joy. What a fucking theme in these times, right? It brought us all to 82nd Avenue, sort of the, what do you call it? The vortex of Defiant Joy. I just want to disclose a couple of things because I'm a discloser. One, I invited my therapist who's here, and I invited my hairstylist who's here, and who outed themselves. And that was a lot. That's a lot of fucking pressure because I needed a straight part, I needed my bangs to look reasonably presentable, and I need to be presenting integration in this show. And I'm a little bit, feels like a lot of pressure. Yeah, so recently I did a show in Eugene, Oregon, and I was invited by a friend of my niece, and they're like, do you want to be on this comedy show in Eugene? I was like, I do, yeah, great. And so the moral of this story is I didn't ask enough fucking questions before I arrived, because Eugene, do I need to say more? When I arrived, I learned that the theme of the show was safe sex and or Native Americans.
What?
And as a member of the Crow Nation and a slut, like, I was really stopped in my tracks. I was like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Well, clearly I go as a slut all the ways, but also just trying to do my tribe, right by my tribe. And I was just sort of sitting there, I was like, did they just fail to tell me that this show was sponsored by both Planned Parenthood and the Eugene Eugenics Society? And I was like, motherfucking Eugene, like keeping racism, slut shaming right there in the comedic narrative. So that happened. And so I'm super glad to be back in Portland. This year marks my, because Portland keeps it weird, right? And this year marks my 20th anniversary of living in Portland. Thank you. Portland is my primary partner. And like any good primary partner, Portland wants me to continue to go out and explore. They want me to be happy, they being Portland. They want me to be happy and to continue to sort of look for new things that are just, again, going to add to my joy and my pleasure. My pleasure is Portland's pleasure, as you might imagine. And so, as part of my 20th year celebration, I gave myself the gift of going to Common Ground Wellness Cooperative. Give it up if you've been to Common Ground. Portland. So for those of you who don't know, Common Ground is a bathhouse that is clothing optional and is just inclusive of all folks. And my problem, I'm just going to state my problem right out of the gate, is like, I like to have a private bathroom to change in. They do not provide that for you at Common Ground. So there, I got my gripe out, but now I can go on with my show. So Common Ground is a bathhouse, but not like in the sexy way that I imagined, like a gay bathhouse. Like, it's more like a Mormon bathhouse, like where you just do Mormon soaking. So you go in there and you just put it in and don't move it, because then you can go to fake heaven afterwards. And so, you know, Common Ground has rules, not the same kind of rules as STEAM, I imagine, because no one's invited me for a reason. But more rules like Mormonism. And so I'm just going to highlight a couple of them. Number one, you cannot talk to anyone you do not know. And as a Midwesterner, I was like, oh no. Okay. I mean, because talking to strangers is a fucking Midwest thing. That is what we do. It's what we do. And so I was like, okay. And I brought a friend, so that helped. But I'm fucking friendly. The other rule is do not let your eyes move too much or settle in one place for too long. And I was like, what the fuck? So of course I had questions. I was like, what if they're wearing a nice bathing suit? They're like, nope. I was like, what if they have a cool tattoo? Nope. And then the third one that I just wasn't prepared for, I was like, what if they have a big old dick? And so I'm gonna tell you that I've seen big dicks, but not a lot. They're kind of Sasquatchy to me, you know, sort of like elusive and mythical. But the unfortunate occurrence is when I arrived, there was one. And I was not prepared. And so at that moment, I was like, now I know what Megan Thee Stallion meant when she said, if it don't hang, then we can't bang. I thought I'd been banging. I have not been banging. It was clear I had not been banging up to this point. And then I sort of did my centering statement, which I said, Godzilla only gives his most lizard brain challenges to his horniest of soldiers. So I did what any reasonable person would do, and I bit my tongue, and I just started like moving my head around like this, sort of like The Exorcist. But then everyone was like, are you having a seizure? And I'm like, I'm following the agreements. And lucky for me, they asked me to leave right at that minute. So recommend Common Ground Wellness Center for all your soaking needs, whatever those might be. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed I'm Rabbit.